Up to mainnet at the end of January. In terms of, we've got things going on in the community, we've got things going on with the rollouts that we've got on the L1X app. There's plenty there. I actually think, well, maybe we'd start with the stuff that you guys have been doing in the community. I know there's been Glen campaigns, there's been invite contests. I know we're seeing people flood into the Discord. I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah, 100%. I'll just jump back in for that as well. I know, so for all the community, and I know you guys are all aware, our diehards are always online for these. You guys are crushing and jumping in for the airdrop, obviously. Being inside the Gleam, we've got the Zealy going on. We've got an invite competition, as you've probably seen. The numbers on just our general socials are increasing all around. We've even opened up our Raiders channel, which awesome for everybody that's been online. For anybody that's not inside the Raiders channel, if you type !Raider into the general chat and press enter, it will disappear. That's okay. It assigns you the role. That's what it's meant to do. Nobody freak out, because I know there was a lot of that, people thinking it not working, but it is working. It's giving you the role, and then it disappears, so it just doesn't clog up the chat with Raider ! Everywhere. So long story short, with the Raid channel, effectively you get a Raider thing. You'll get a ping for every time that we have a raid on a tweet, and then out of everybody that does the raid, we select, there's a one winner that's chosen for 20 L1X bounty. So we've got that going on. Heaps of stuff coming up as well. I know between myself and Sam and Red, we've been putting together a lot of different little campaigns, obviously, to keep you guys engaged, keep it exciting through the holiday season as well. So heaps of things going on in that aspect, and I know plenty to talk about as well with XPerk, the module coming into the X wallet. I'll pass back over to Spark. I think it's best place for you there.
Yeah, no, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, we had obviously got the XPerks out now. We've got a few different things actually that we've rolled out now in this week. And I think we made an announcement as well. Look, I think for us, coming so close to mainnet, it's really important. We're working day and night and pushing as many of these features and functions out onto the L1X app as we can. So look, we appreciate everyone's patience, and if you're having any issues with that, we're here to help, obviously, through the community mods. I think even Kevin's made a bit of a video on it as well. But yeah, during mainnet beta, I think it's key for us. We appreciate any of the feedback, working through any of those issues as well. But I'm really happy to say that we've had a great take up with those that have been interacting with the XPerks. And what gives me, what warms my heart is the fact that you can see that there's so many community members that really understand the long-term potential of L1X just through the actions that they're taking through the XPerks. And what I mean by that is that knowing that the project's potential, not just what we're doing in the short term, but what we're doing in the long term and how we'll develop, is worth the journey to stay on. And so by the uptake we've already seen in the XPerks, and people opting into the XPerks program for those longer durations, really shows that we're all as a community on the same page, that this is a massive a project with massive potential, and the long-term journey will be the rewarding one. XPerks is now out with X Wallet. I think it's just shout out to the community mods, Bean, Charlie, especially those guys have been really working hard and dealing with community members' issues and questions. All the other mods as well in the general chat there. A special mention, welcome back, Hader. It's great to have you back. And I saw some of the welcome messages back to Hader as well. So Hader, welcome back on board. Good to see you again. And yeah, so with XPerks, I did want to mention that the take up there for the long term has been excellent. Also, we've seen some fantastic interest in the usernames and L1X app NFTs as well. I think you can see that the sales tracking on the NFT page there, so that's going extremely well. And I don't know. Actually, I haven't checked there yet, but I believe if it's not already up, we'll be also putting up the ability to search usernames as well, just to make sure that you can see what's available. But I'm sure there's plenty of people taking advantage of additional usernames. Looking forward to the future and being strategic in terms of what kind of usernames they can grab. I know I've gone in and tried to buy a couple of usernames that I thought would be great, but they're already gone. So if everyone could just hold off for a bit while I get my fill, that'll be great.
The old sneaky Bitcoin.L1X. Yeah, I had a play around in there myself, looking for something.
Wasn't quite sure what Spark was saying. Then he said he wants to get his foal. I don't know, but somebody also said on the in the chat there that they're jealous of his voice and his accent. I don't know, mate. You got anything to add to that?
No, it's I don't. Who said that? I think that's my pseudo saying that, giving myself props.
Yeah.
If it helps,
Yeah.
Chief, because I'm halfway between Perth and New Zealand, I can help translate.
Thank you, mate. I'd appreciate that. Yeah. If you just let us know what it says.
Yeah, the gap in between. I think he's trying to say he wants as many in his fill as possible.
I heard that he wants money. It's just the translate. We need a universal translator here. So, yeah, look, it's really exciting to see what people are choosing to do with the staking side of it. And as you open that up, it's been really, as Spark did say, I did translate this bit that he felt it was very heartwarming for him, and I do agree. It is. It's really good to see. I think, look, there's a lot going on at the moment. There's a heck of a lot. The discussions that Spark and I are having around with different projects and chains and others is actually so full on. Where we're heading, we've got heading into mainnet launch at the end of January. We're looking at adding Bitcoin to the network. All those things are happening right now. The work is going on. What I can tell you is that the devs are absolutely still flat out with doing all this work. It's and that's really good to see. And they're all, the devs are getting excited. We're hearing all the stories back from them as well.
I think that's things just to be aware of, as Spark was saying, and Chief as well. The devs are absolutely putting in a huge effort as well. We know there's some tickets coming through, and obviously there's going to be a bit of uptake and things like that. So from a mod perspective, we're working at putting together some FAQs, some sheets and things, so that way we can solve as many problems as possible for everybody. So it's not an overwhelming mess. Because as we said before, Beans and DGen doing a great job in there in the tickets and everything. And obviously the mod team's doing an amazing job as well. So we just want to make sure that we're getting the best service to you guys, but please just be patient as we work through some of the stuff, because with anything, when something new comes online, we want to make sure it works well. We want to make sure that you guys are getting the best experience, and sometimes that takes a bit of time to make sure that we've got, all the I's dotted and T's crossed, or I's crossed and T's dotted, as it were.
Yeah. And it's also good to see an uptick in the numbers on Discord. I think a lot of that's coming from the AMAs that Spark and I are doing with the various chains like OmChain and some of the other ones that we've got coming up that we haven't told you about yet. That work means that we're getting a lot more exposure out there across the market and across the world, really. That's so important to us.
Yeah, and I think coupled with that, obviously I know Joe, Red, Samir have been working hard around the gleams, around the task. I think the campaign with Task On, they're reaching out, so starting to get some traction. And I think this is only the beginning. We're going to start to see some real momentum as we build into mainnet, full mainnet at the end of January. Also, I just wanted to mention as well, I think, and I think a few people have noticed, but some of this, the slick design now coming into the L1X app. We've got some exceptional designers now working on the L1X app. You would have seen the layout of some of the pages, and that's only going to improve as these designers really kind of sink their teeth into not only just the user experience, but the look and feel of the L1X app as well, to make it a really kind of slick back-end experience, but also a slick interface as well. So shout out to the designers as well that are doing a great job.
100%.
I think we look.
Oh, sorry, go on, Spark.
No, I just, and I know I kind of sound like I'm parroting on about this all the time, but how like the L1X app will be that interface into multiple different solutions across multiple different chains. And I think I've said this on a couple of AMAs is that I don't think there's any chain that really has a front door, right, where you go in and experience that ecosystem. And not that it should or it shouldn't, but I think that what makes it important for the L1X app to exist is that will become the front door, the entry point, not just into the L1X ecosystem, but into multiple different ecosystem solutions on multiple different chains. But I think in terms of interoperability, the benefit that it provides to users and developers, whether it's our interoperability solution or an application tapping into the interoperability solution that we have, it really does kind of unite those experiences for them. I think for the history of blockchain, chain tribalism has existed. We've got Bitcoin maxis, we've got ETH maxis, we've got Solana maxis, but I think the landscape will change with interoperability. I think the fragmentation of blockchains and the fact that they're siloed, and the fact that they can't talk to each other, that they really have to build their ecosystem within their own chain, has also kind of propelled this chain tribalism. And look, there's obviously many benefits to it, but I think there's many benefits beyond it as well, where I can see a future where chain tribalism will kind of evolve more into blockchain technology tribalism, where across multiple chains, across multiple users and projects, we're united in a way where we're fanatical about blockchain rather than just a single chain. And that's where L1X comes back to the fact that we're here to unite, not compete. And if we unite, then there's much more collaboration, much more innovation brought to the market, and working together as one across multiple chains, I think is much more productive for the space as well.
Absolutely. I think it's the way forward we talk about. It's how do we get everybody that's outside of crypto on board is effectively we create a united front in order to make the onboarding process easier, to make it so that Grandma can participate. That's the end goal, I think. And obviously there's stepping stones along the way to that, but there's I think in the future that's what needs to be in working progress for us to see real mainstream adoption. I know aside from just the experts obviously coming on online, which I think that's a huge step forward, and that's been our focus all week. But there's been a few other things too that based around that are really interesting, that are add-ons to the L1X app. So as an example, you can now natively buy in there as well. There's a few other bits and pieces going on. Do you want to give us just a quick overview of, because it feels like it's been almost an eternity since last week with all the things that have come out. So maybe even if we just give a quick wrap up of some of the new features and things that are online now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, we've got X Wallet. We've got the native L1X buy where you can swap directly to L1X. You can buy with other sources as well. So you'll notice on there we've got other ways to actually purchase L1X. We're working really closely with Crypto Psycho. Shout out to Crypto Psycho in terms of having him be the first influencer on the influencer board. That's working with integrating the streaming. But we're hoping to have that up soon so we can showcase that with Crypto Psycho. We're also, and so with the X Wallet, I see a couple of questions around the X Wallet. There is going to be an FAQ set up as well. Kevin actually took a lot of the questions around whether it's XPerks or X Wallet, did some answers to those and some updates on those as well. So I think the mods may have that that spreadsheet that came out providing those FAQs and updates around X Wallet. So those will be out. I'm pretty sure that those will be out today from the mods. And in terms of what else is going on, we've got the Provatar. I don't know if anyone's probably here. I think everyone has, but we've got the Provatar competition as well. Those Provatars are looking pretty cool. I know Cody Cryptonaut's got one. We've got Kevin. Kevin's got his as well. I've got mine. And Mike, I think you're still. I think you're still trying to put hair on yours. Is that right?
I don't think you've looked recently, mate.
Is Mike wearing a Power Ranger suit for his? Because I want that so much.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm
But yeah, look, but yeah, look, in terms of the updates, there's been many, and it does feel like an eternity because we're here working day and night to push out as many of these updates as possible. Yeah, and like I mentioned before, we've also got the updated the pages on the L1X app, updated NFT page. If you go onto the swap widget as well, down the bottom you'll see a little tab down the bottom of the swap that says learn more about L1X coins, I believe it says. If you click on that, you'll see the also the foundation pages are all there as well. So jump on, have a look at that. And with these pages that are being built out on the L1X app, that is what we call the objects view, which is like the brainchild of Cryptonaut, which is pretty cool. Meaning that you can actually build out these web pages with it will become like a very easy to use CMS system. And so he's been working hard on that as well. And some of these pages that the designers are working on will basically showcasing exactly what you'll see and what you'll be able to build within the L1X app when the object system is launched as well.
There's a huge amount of stuff coming online. I know recently, obviously, we've been through, even if we touch on what the AMAs we've got or just had and some of the ones that are coming up, I know we've got a lot of, as Chief said before, a lot of exposure and heaps of people joining from all sorts of different AMAs as well. So we just had the one with Digger last night. All time just blurs together. I think it was last night. Last night?
Yeah. Maybe not. Was it last night? Night before. Night before, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah. No, we've had heaps. I don't know, Chief, if you want to speak about that, and I can add some.
Oh, look, I'll speak about the on-chain one first, because just to give people a little bit of an idea, the amount of information that came through from Osman when we're on that the AMA with on-chain, I actually just did a bit of a transcript from that, and it's currently sitting at 17 pages of notes that came from it. And that's not at 18 point, that's at 12 point text. That's a lot of information. So what we're doing there is we're taking that and we're actually breaking that up into little excerpts of information that we'll be releasing out to across social media and all those, and probably Discord as well. So it's really, for me, that was probably one of the most exciting ones that I've been on was with Osman, just listening to his vision and then combining it with the L1X vision as well, and seeing Osman and Kevin working together and listening to those conversations. It's just been such an eye-opener and just a vision of where we're heading with this, the capability we've got now. And yes, we might have delayed a little bit the adding the L1X wallet into the mix, but there's a good reason, and that is because the integration work required to introduce the true decentralized identity, it takes a little bit of work to do that. It's not a simple job. It's highly complex. And the reason we're doing it is because we want to make blockchain and crypto a much safer place for users. We've got the interoperability now where you can actually transact between chains, no bridges. So we've removed that risk for users. And then when we jump across to the Diga Labs AMA, that was actually a really exciting AMA there with Can, and listening to his visions around the gaming in the future of where they're going to take things just aligns with the L1X vision perfectly.
Yeah, and I'll add to that as well. So we're actually working on a X Spaces series on Twitter. I still get used to. I'm still transitioning between the word Twitter and X, so apologies for that. But we're working on a series called X Talks, like TED Talks, but it's X Talks, that will be based on X or Twitter, where ultimately, and I think I said this before, we're here to unite, not compete. So we really want to showcase interoperability across the whole blockchain space. So we'll be introducing it pretty soon. We'll be running regular spaces in the X Talk series, we were talking projects that are really tapping into interoperability, whether they're building directly on L1X or not. It's a chain agnostic discussion where people can get a great insight into how interoperability is kind of reshaping the blockchain space and how important it is. And so you'll be able to kind of learn about projects across multiple different chains that are working with interoperability, where interoperability is key. And I think that, that's us not only bringing eyes to L1X, but also bringing eyes to these projects, but also bringing eyes to interoperability and us playing our part in showing that interoperability really is the future. So look forward to that series as well. We'll be releasing that pretty soon. We'll be running regular talks on Twitter or X in the X Talk series, where we'll be talking to multiple different projects around interoperability and how they're leveraging it.
That's huge as well. I think seeing how other projects intend to use interoperability. I mean, we all have our own thoughts and visions about what we think we would use it for or how we would use it. But I think the next layer of things where things become very exciting is, okay, how does a project use it? How does, knowing that layer 1X is that base foundational layer, how can we tap into the things that make it unique to make the project then on top of that even more unique? Because I think that's it. Every chain has an advantage, but if you had access to any chain, what could you do? And I think it's bridging those, bridging, but it's filling the gaps in between that make all these possible. So it'll be a very interesting future of what can be built if the capability exists, which it does now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's almost inevitable that we see a future with multiple different chains existing. So, somehow they have to be connected to each other. Layer 1X's X-Talk really is the only solution where the chain, the only bridgeless solution where the chain itself doesn't have to alter its language, or have to embed something and use resources to embed something like IBC or change itself to a Polkadot parachain. So I think that makes it really easy for chains to become interoperable and still kind of remain as themselves. What I'm really interested about is how that now, because I think the siloed nature of blockchains has actually probably kept a lot of chains safe, meaning that because people can't come off the chain and it's hard to go between chains, then accessing solutions or better solutions on other chains is complex. Once you start to kind of level the playing field where you can connect all chains, then from the user's perspective, it's really, and everything is an option, then it becomes a much more robust competitive market for applications and projects to really have to prove the unique selling point. What will happen, and from what I see anyway, in my opinion, is that the best projects will come to the fore, no matter what chain they're on, because now users can access all of them. So, if you're on Ethereum and you're just focused on Ethereum, then that's all you have for options, and then trying to take your capital onto another chain and access another solution is complex. If we take that away, and then everything's an option, really it's going to be up to the applications to deliver value to the user. And that can only be a good thing for the blockchain space.
100%. I think just one more thing, if I could put you on the spot with a random question, and I think it's a good update for any new community members and also a good refresher for people that we've already got here. Like just really highlighting the differences, what makes Layer 1X special versus some of these other potential interoperability projects like CCIP or Layer 0 or anything like that. The specifics around, okay, here's how we do something, or here's how we do it better, or here's what we can do that they can't. Is there a brief summary for everybody? So just so, obviously, as we're expressing to other people in the crypto world, why? What's the elevator pitch?
Yeah, I think that's good. And apologies for everyone that's heard this pitch before, but I think it's a great question because we've got a lot of community members, new community members that have come in the last week. So let's talk about maybe the evolution of interoperability, right? So stage one was bridges. And where bridges are connecting, a bridge will connect two chains together so you can exchange assets. Now, they created a solution to a certain point, but they've also created a massive amount of risk in that interaction because, and the result of that risk is $2 billion of bridge hacks just in 2022. And in terms of all hacks across the history of blockchain, the bridge hacks have made up about 40% of all hacks. And so that's a massive, I mean, that's billions of dollars. It's a massive risk, right? For the opportunities for two chains to talk to each other. And so the next evolution was solutions such as, Polkadot, such as Cosmos, where their solutions offer many advantages beyond bridges in terms of safety, security, ease of use between chains. But the limitation with Polkadot and Cosmos is that you have to, so for Polkadot, you've got to be a parachain. So you've got to be one of their parachains within the parachain ecosystem. And I think they've only got 100, and it's like an opt-in system. So you've got to be a parachain to then be interoperable with other parachains. And then Cosmos, you've got to enable IBC, and then you can talk to other chains that have enabled IBC. And so, like I said, while it provides some advantages over bridges, it's still a limited solution. Because if you look at those solutions, right, that Polkadot and Cosmos have, and I use this analogy all the time, but let's say everyone on this Discord AMA spoke a different language, right? And which is pretty much very similar to the landscape we find ourselves in today in terms of blockchain. Different, they're not compatible. These blockchains, they speak different languages. They find it hard to talk to each other and understand each other. So let's say that's the situation within this Discord AMA. They all speak different languages and we can't really understand each other. So what Polkadot and Cosmos are saying pretty much are that let's all learn the same language. So hey, everybody on this Discord AMA, let's all learn Chinese or Mandarin, or let's all learn Italian, or let's all learn Spanish, and then we can actually communicate with each other. Well, that might at the surface sound okay, but it's not realistic. It's like saying to the world, hey, everyone in the world learn one language and then we can all communicate to each other. So what the difference between that solution and what L1X brings in terms of Xtalk is because we can connect to any chain, EVM, non-EVM, and that's also another unique feature of us. We can connect an EVM chain with a non-EVM chain, and that have bridges interoperability between those two. But what our solution says is that, okay, everyone in the room, speak your native language, whatever that is. But what we'll do is we'll put a universal translator in the middle of that room. So everyone can maintain their native language, but now we can understand each other. And I think that is a much better solution than the solutions that have come before that. And so not only with Xtalk, not only can you exchange assets such as tokens and NFTs, but smart contracts across chain can now talk to each other with Xtalk, whether they're EVM or non-EVM. And why is that important? It means that, for example, what it does is provide an experience cross-chain as if you were on one chain. So, for example, and I've used this before, but if when we're building out now the NFT marketplace, what it will allow you to do is place an NFT in that marketplace, and then at the same time, because the smart contracts from L1X will talk to smart contracts in Ethereum, we'll talk to smart contracts in Solana, we'll talk to smart contracts in Polygon, and every other chain we're connected to, it creates this kind of communication stream to then access applications on those other chains. And so the NFT marketplace, by putting an NFT in the L1X marketplace, you can then select other marketplaces that you'd like to place that NFT in at the same time. And so now what that does for the NFT marketplace, it then gives an NFT seller access to exponential number of buyers, not just on one marketplace on one chain, but on multiple marketplaces across multiple different chains. And that's just one example of the future that interoperability will bring, where the user doesn't really care what chain they're on. But would you, if you had an NFT, and you're an ETH maxi, would you want to place that NFT in OpenSea only? Or would you want to take that NFT and place it in OpenSea, Magic Eden, Blur.io, Rarible, L1X App marketplaces, many marketplaces as you can across multiple different blockchains? What would you want to, what would you prefer to do? And I think, the question is the latter, right? I mean, the answer is the latter. I would prefer to do that because that's a much better solution for my need. So this is where chain tribalism kind of fades into the background, because it's more about the user's need. It's about what does the user really need, and what is the best solution to meet that need, no matter what chain it's on, whether it's on L1X, whether it's on Ethereum, whether it's on Polkadot, whether it's on Bitcoin, wherever it is, the user should have access to that in a simple, safe, and fast way.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think it's I love the language analogy, right? It just makes it very simple for everybody, that without going super in depth in tech, because I mean that's a whole nother beast. It just gives a good indication of, okay, what's different? How do we make it so that we can connect? How do we make it so that we're getting the best experience cross chain? And I think that's perfect. I think now would be a good time, if you guys have a bit of time, to even just dive into some community questions, or if anybody wants to jump up and just, we take that, the next 10 or so to just answer some questions as well. If you guys have some space, or if anybody from the community wants to jump up. I know Sam's normally here to take the community questions through. I haven't seen any come through specifically. But if you do have any, you don't want to jump up, you want to throw them in the chat, by all means throw them in the chat and we can get them answered. Obviously knowing as well, I know that there's plenty of questions around some of the tickets that are open. Obviously, if you've got a ticket open, we're working through those. We're handling them as best we can with the volume that's coming through. So just know that we're meeting those as we go. But yeah, any other? I'll get Chief and Spark to do a wrap up statement from them. And if you do have questions, by all means, throw them in the chat or throw your hand up, and we'll get you up here to do a little bit of chat. So either Spark or Chief, over to you.
Okay, I guess just a little wrap up for me is obviously we've got the NFTs going out at the moment. We're seeing a massive increase in the number of those that are actually being purchased at the moment. And to remind people that what we've introduced there is with those NFTs is the ability to own a part of an app. So we're 100% decentralizing the ownership of that app, and therefore the transaction fees themselves go back to all the holders of those NFTs. That's actually, excuse me, it's something that is very, it's quite revolutionary in the world of blockchain, let alone any other, the traditional markets. I wouldn't shy away from them. And then you introduce things like the username. What an exciting concept that is, how you can actually register at the moment and get in there quick, because you don't want to lose those really important names that could be worth something. And down the track, you'll be able to keep your own, and any of those extra NFTs and the bonus ones that you get, you'll be able to then put those up for sale on a marketplace. And who knows what they're going for. Just look around at what others are being sold out there for around the world. You know that the market for domain names, for example, is absolutely huge. And with those usernames, you'll have the right to be able to then get a domain name as well. So the possibilities opening up there are endless. I think it's probably one of the best things that I've seen come out for users. Absolutely, I do. We've just got one question here, based around the nodes. If I could just read this out.
So the node hosting requirements are, so when we have the XPerks program, it's more around the, obviously, let's say you're going for a validator node, and you've got your 50,000 coins that are dedicated stake towards that node. Are they required to stake another 50,000 coins for the node, or is the original 50,000 locked up? Because I know we've discussed this earlier, but I think just clarity around what exactly that looks like if we've got that.
Yeah, look, Spark will clarify that much better than I will, but no, you're not required to. But I think the benefit that you get out of that is that you will actually maximize the returns if you choose to stake against that node as well.
Yeah, I can definitely clarify the question. So basically the process is this: when you go into the XPerks and opt in to one of the tiers, you will have, there is the ability to unlock a node NFT. Now, if you're opting in to the XPerks program with public sale coins, L1X coins purchased in the public sale, then you can go into any tier and have the ability to unlock a node NFT if you meet the minimum requirements. So if you're opting into, let's say, bronze, silver, gold, or platinum with public sale coins, and you have at least 10,000, then you can unlock a event listener node NFT. Now, what that means, or if you have 50,000, you can unlock a full validator node NFT. If you have 100,000, you can unlock 2. What that means is that by unlocking the NFT, those coins that you've opted into that tier, they just vest. So you don't have to lock those coins into the node NFT. They will vest out over the period that you've chosen to vest. Now, if you're in the private sale, you've got to go into gold or platinum to unlock a node NFT and still have the minimum requirements of coins, of course. But then what's kind of cool is that the coins obviously get bonuses, right? So with platinum, you actually get a 20% bonus on whatever you opt in, and that bonus will be available at full mainnet. So what happens though, then every month, your coins are vested back to you that you opted into the XPerks. So if it's platinum, then you'll get 1/24th every month of those coins you opted in. And as they vest back to you, then they're liquid. So if you wish to, then you can delegate those coins to staking. So by hosting a node, you will get rewards. By taking your vested coins and then staking them on a delegated staking on the nodes, you'll also get additional rewards because all delegated stakers will also get rewards from transaction fees. So I think simply no, your coins are not locked in the node NFT. They are vested back to you. And then if you wish to then compound your rewards, then you can take those vested coins each month and then stake them for additional rewards over and above what the rewards will be for node hosting. Now you must host a node to get the rewards from the node hosting. Just by holding the node NFT doesn't mean you get rewards. That unlocks the ability for you to host a node because we have a limited number. And you do have the ability to sell, and you will have that ability to sell the node NFT on the marketplace when that's up. And when you go ahead and sell that node NFT, that's when the purchaser of that node NFT must lock the minimum amount of coins. So let's say you want to sell me an event listener node. When I purchase that, I've got to pay whatever the sale price is, plus I've got to lock. So let's say you want to sell your node NFT for your event listener node NFT for 5,000 L1X coins. If I go to buy that event listener node for 5,000 L1X coins, I pay you 5,000 and I have to lock 10,000 within that node NFT to then host the node because I didn't opt into XPerks.
Yeah, I think that provided plenty of clarity around that. So, long story short, too long didn't read is the let's say you went the full validator node, you've got the 50,000 in there, they'll be vested back to you. You'll still get to keep the node NFT, and you'll still be able to use that as a node NFT in order to run a node. However, if you want to sell it, the new person would then have to allocate the designated amount in order to take over that purchase, but also pay your purchase price. So I think that clears it up very concisely. I haven't seen any other questions. I know, Haiti, you're doing a great job in there by tagging me in some that I may have missed. So if there's any I've missed, please tag away. Yeah, I'll spark. Even if you just want to do your wrap-up statement, we'll just see if anything else comes through while we wait.
Yep. So for us, I think, going back to what we said at the beginning, it's been, it's been a full-on week with there's so many things that have been going on, whether it's community activities or whether it's, rollouts on the L1X app. And we're working day and night to push out as many features on the app as we lead up to mainnet, full mainnet. And obviously, as we push them out, feedback, working with the community during mainnet beta, because it is an iterative phase, is important. So we can have those features and those rollouts, working smoothly when we get to full mainnet. But you'll see more and more features building up out on the L1X app, where it'll just continue to grow and grow and grow into that kind of Web3 gateway. But yeah, look, I just wanted to say it's been an exciting journey so far. Welcome to all the new members that have joined us, and it's only going to get more exciting from here on in.
Absolutely. Just another quick question we've got here. When we'll be able to receive our free NFT/username? I think people are asking this question because obviously as you vest and use the XPerks, obviously you're eligible for those. When are they able to? Is there a time frame yet on when they'll be able to claim those?
Yeah, I know Kevin and the dev team are working on that, but that will definitely be up and available. So I wouldn't worry about it. It will, once that's up and running, we will look retrospectively as well. So then we'll be able to look back on everyone who's opted into XPerks and purchased NFTs, and then work out how many bonus NFTs and usernames they'll get. So yeah, no one will be missed out on that. It's just been worked on by Kevin and the dev team. I haven't got an exact date, but all I can tell you is that you'll definitely be retrospectively rewarded with them.
Yeah. So if you want to get that sneaky, well, I don't even know what I don't want to say all my good ones .L1X because I don't want to lose them. But whatever that sneaky username you're thinking of getting, secure it in another fashion in the short term, because the time frame isn't set for the free ones, is what I'm saying. This is actually a really interesting question. I think a lot of people will be interested to know. I'm not sure if we've got the information. I know it's been discussed. The node hosting services. Is there an option for that yet, or is it still up in the air? I know there's the intent, maybe.
Okay, I'll give you a little update on that. Look, people can actually choose to host their own node, even on their own home PC. Personally, look, I've worked across IT for forever, since Noah was a young lad, and I wouldn't host my own node on my own hardware at home. I just wouldn't do it. It's not economical. It's not, if you have a bad network connection or occasionally lose connectivity, you'll get removed from the network because it's unreliable. We are talking with a significant number of node hosting services to be able to provide that capability. It is not expensive, but also when you look at it, do you want to set up all your own home piece of hardware? Do you want to run your internet connection, do all that sort of thing, or just have somebody else do it for you? And that becomes something you can claim back on your tax as well. So that will be coming. We've got a number of options sitting up our sleeve. So far, I think there's about 5 or 6 different node hosting services we're looking at different levels.
Awesome. I know there's a lot of people in here that are excited to hear that, myself included, because, if you ever tried to set up a node and you're not real tech savvy, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, so the question from KPN, mainnet launch, end of Jan, that is, and the commemorative NFT being released to L1X wallets for private sale investors of $1,000 or more. I believe that they're all those wallets have been marked down, and that will say retrospectively come out. Is that correct?
Sorry, what was the question again?
For the commemorative NFTs for the private sale from pre-March, I think that was. I think that the wallets were marked down for people that had a commemorative NFT. Will they be released post? Like, obviously, I know we've got a lot of other things coming. Obviously, the mainnet launch first. Are they coming out? Like, do we have an earmarked time for when they will be available in the L1X wallet?
I don't have that. Maybe Cryptonaut might be able to answer that one, but I don't see him online at the moment. So
I thought for sure he would be sneaking in the crowd here. He's always lurking, that guy.
He's sneaky.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping I could just twist his arm and get the old rubber arm and get a bit of information out of him, but he's not here. He knows. He's down there, sneaking in the background. Cryptonaut. Do you have an answer for this question? We drag you up here and get all sorts of information out of you. Maybe not. Okay, I think that's most. Oh no, here we go. Cryptonaut's here for a quick chat, which means you extended out your time for a few more questions if you've got them in the chats. People keep throwing them in there. Maybe Cryptonaut can give us an update on the current one.
So in regards to the NFTs, they should be in your L1X wallets, specifically around if you purchased in the pre-sale, private sale. There should be a few of them in there. In regards to the commemorative coin, I'll have to double check to see when that will be dumped in. I've made a note, but the other one should be in there already.
Fantastic. So that's a good update from CryptoNaut. Is there anything else, CryptoNaut, that you want to share with the community while you've been pulled out of the lurking habits?
No, I'm just getting really excited for what's to come. I keep re-emphasizing that. And yeah, it's kind of exciting. And if everybody tunes into the AMAs that every member of the team's kind of jumping in to handle, you'll definitely hear some alpha on all of those. So I highly recommend to keep tuning into those AMAs that we're doing with various communities. So yeah, good things are coming.
I think that is another huge point. Like, obviously, for the let's call ourselves L1X Maxis, we've probably heard the spiel from the team a few times. But I find what's really good about each AMA is because we're interacting with a different group of people, whether they've got a different background, whether it's gaming, whether it's something else, we get to see how L1X would apply in that scenario in those different styles as well. So it's even if you feel like you've listened to a few AMAs, it's always good to jump on the next one as well to hear what's the update with that specific project, what's the update with these specific partnerships, because there's always something, I suppose, a new twist on how things will be adopted and how things are going to be put together. And it's definitely it's always an eye-opening experience on every different AMA. So yeah, as CryptoNaut said, make it a priority. They're definitely worth being on.
Yeah,
I think that's.
sorry, just give an example update. And this comes from a little bit of my background as well. HealthLink in Singapore. Now, if anybody's ever been to hospital and seen the systems that are operating, and especially more so the ones around the world where you have very complex health systems that are fully integrated, and they cost many billions of dollars. I know the US Department of Defense spent initially $5 billion, then it went up to about $15 billion, and now they ultimately reckon it's going to cost them $50+ billion to implement a health platform. The complexity of those systems is absolutely huge. When you're talking about integrating hospitals and doctors and health systems and the government side of it, all the way through to health insurance, it's absolutely huge. So when you're designing what we call an EMR, an enterprise medical record, from scratch, you take into account all the existing systems, and you look at all the features, and then you design it around the capabilities, not just of what the other systems do, but around what that particular the customer wants. So, for example, the HealthLink in Singapore, what do they need? So we're building that out, and that takes a little bit of time to put that in place. The complexity around that, introducing everything from blood tests all the way through to emergency departments, through to doctors' surgeries and their requirements. It's absolutely huge. The amount of work that goes into it is massive, but the capabilities that L1X offers introduces the base needs around securing that data, securing health records. Nobody wants their data to be compromised. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, there's a lot of work going into it, but it's a capability that will be able to be reused anywhere around the world and interfaced across to literally any system, any Oracle-based system out there, any traditional platform.
Absolutely huge. I know this is a recurring question. I don't know if the L1X team specifically is the best to ask for this. I know it's probably more a different Discord, but the L1Dex partnership, do we have updates there?
I don't know if Spark's still around, but I know we've got some discussions coming up with them very shortly. I just saw some notes come through earlier this morning, but we will be holding another AMA on that very soon, I believe.
Perfect. So more information to follow. I think that's most of the questions I've seen come through. heaps of stuff going on. Like we said, we realize from a community perspective, just a massive shout out again to our mod team, handling the tickets, handling the chat, looking after all you guys. I know it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on and heaps of interaction happening. You know, we've got new people in Discord. We've got so many comps going on. We've got so much happening. So once again, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for allowing us the ability to help you with all the problems that you've had or any problems that you've got, so that we can obviously get this to exactly where it needs to be for the future, so that when we hit this mainnet proper, we are all engines go. And yeah, just thanks for being a part of the journey. I guess this is part of what it's like to be in the startup scene, and we appreciate having all of you really early supporters here to make the community what it is. So obviously, once again, a big props to all of you for tuning in and being the L1X maxis that we need you to be. I think that's probably it from everybody. I know I've already got closing statements. I started that half an hour ago, which it just tends to blow out a bit. I think I'll start the next one with our opening statements and closing statements, and then we'll crack on for an hour. But that's I think that's probably wrapped up. Once again, thanks everybody for jumping on. We appreciate you, and we appreciate Spark, Cryptonaut, Chief, you guys for being here and obviously giving your time to the community so that we can get the best information, obviously, back and forth and see exactly where the project's going. It's not often that you get to see, I suppose, the high-level people inside of a project being so active in the community and giving direct feedback and answering questions on such a regular basis. So we appreciate having you guys here. And I'll close that out there. But once again, thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to jump onto some of the AMAs later in the week. We've got some coming up. Check Twitter/X. We've really got a few things that are really cranking up for the next week or so before we head into this holiday period. So make sure you jump on all those things and get in the raid channel. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.